The Cosmic Cat, short story by Whispers of Wonder. It was an ordinary Tuesday morning when Emily first noticed something unusual about her cat, Whiskers. He had always been a typical, if slightly aloof, tabby. But today he was staring at her with an intensity she had never seen before. His emerald eyes seemed to glow with an otherworldly light. Emily shook off the feeling of unease and went about her day. She fed Whiskers, then sat down with a cup of cacao and her new comic book. But Whiskers wouldn't leave her alone. He jumped onto the table and pawed at the comic book, his eyes never leaving hers. "What's up with you today, Whiskers?" Emily asked, scratching him behind the ears. Normally, this was his favorite spot, but today he barely acknowledged the gesture. Instead, he meowed insistently and turned his head toward the window. Emily glanced outside. It was a clear day, the sun shining brightly in the sky. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Yet Whiskers kept staring, his tail flicking with agitation. As the day wore on, Emily couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Whiskers followed her everywhere, his eyes always fixed on her. When she finally sat down at her computer to finish her homework, he jumped onto her lap and pressed his head against her hand. All right, she said, giving in and stroking him. "What is it?" To her shock, Whiskers began to purr, not the usual sound of contentment, but a low, rhythmic vibration that seemed to resonate through the room. The lights flickered, and for a moment Emily thought she saw strange symbols glowing on Whiskers' fur. "Whiskers, what's happening?" she whispered, half expecting an answer. And then, as if in response, a voice echoed in her mind. "Help me." Emily jumped, almost knocking Whiskers to the floor. She looked around, but there was no one else in the room. She was alone with her cat who had just spoken to her telepathically. "Help me," the voice repeated. "I need to go home." "Whiskers?" Emily whispered, feeling ridiculous. "My name is not Whiskers. I'm called Xantor, and I come from the planet Felinara in the Andromeda Galaxy. I need your help to return home." Emily's mind reeled. This couldn't be happening. She must be dreaming. But the earnest look in Whiskers, no, Xantor's eyes, told her otherwise. "Why didn't you tell me before?" she asked, her voice shaky. "I was waiting for the right moment. The time has come. I cannot stay here any longer. My people need me." Emily took a deep breath, trying to process the situation. "How can I help you?" Xantor's eyes seemed to soften with relief. "There's a device hidden in this house that will create a portal to Felinara. It was sent with me when I was stranded here as a kitten. I need you to find it." Emily nodded, feeling a strange sense of calm wash over her. She could do this. She had to do this. "Where do I start?" she asked. "In the attic. There's a box marked with the symbol of my people." Emily wasted no time. She climbed the narrow stairs to the attic, Whiskers, no Xantor following close behind. The attic was dusty and cluttered, filled with old furniture and forgotten memories. She started opening boxes, looking for anything that seemed out of the ordinary. After what felt like hours, she found it. A small wooden box with a strange symbol carved into the lid. She opened it carefully, revealing a sleek, metallic device that looked like nothing she had ever seen before. "This is it?" she asked, holding the device up to the light. "Yes," Xantor replied, his voice filled with hope. "Now you must activate it." Emily carried the device downstairs to the living room, where Xantor jumped onto the coffee table and touched the device with his paw. It hummed to life, emitting a soft blue glow. "You must place your hand on the device and think of Felinara. Imagine yourself being there," Xantor instructed. Emily did as she was told, her heart pounding in her chest. The device grew warmer under her touch, and the light intensified until it filled the entire room. Suddenly the air crackled with energy, and a swirling vortex appeared in the center of the room. Emily stared in awe as the portal stabilized, revealing a breathtaking landscape on the other side. Felinara. Xantor turned to Emily, his eyes shining with gratitude.
Thank you, Emily. You have no idea how much this means to me.
Tears welled up in Emily's eyes.
Will I ever see you again? I promise to return one day and take you to Felinara. But for now, I must go. My people are waiting.
With that, Xantor stepped into the portal. Emily watched as he disappeared into the vortex, the light slowly fading until it was gone, leaving her alone in the quiet living room. For a moment, she stood there, staring at the spot where the portal had been. Then, with a deep sigh, she picked up the device and carefully placed it back in the box. She would keep it safe, just in case. Life returned to normal, but Emily's world had been forever changed. She couldn't look at the night sky without thinking of Xantor and the incredible adventure they had shared. And every now and then, when the stars were especially bright, she would hear a faint, familiar purr in the back of her mind, reminding her that somewhere out there, her friend was home. Months passed, and Emily found herself missing Xantor more than she had expected. Life without her cosmic companion felt a bit emptier. She often wondered how he was doing on Felinara, and if he had managed to reunite with his family. Her life fell back into its routine, but she kept the memory of Xantor alive in her heart. One evening, as Emily was preparing for bed, she noticed a peculiar light flickering outside her window. It was unlike any star or airplane she had ever seen. The light pulsed rhythmically, almost like a heartbeat. Intrigued, she went outside to get a closer look. As she stepped into her backyard, the light grew brighter, and a familiar humming sound filled the air. Her heart raced with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. The light descended slowly, revealing itself to be a small, sleek spaceship. Emily's jaw dropped as the craft landed softly on the grass. The door of the spaceship opened, and out stepped Xantor, his fur gleaming under the moonlight. He looked just as he had when he left, but there was a real aura about him now, a confidence that hadn't been there before.
Xantor!
Emily exclaimed, running to him.
I can't believe you're here.
Xantor purred warmly and rubbed against her leg.
I promised we would meet again, didn't I?
Emily laughed, tears of joy streaming down her face.
What are you doing here? Is everything all right? Everything is perfect,
Xantor replied.
I wanted to thank you in person and to show you something incredible. Would you like to come with me?
Emily hesitated for only a moment before nodding.
Yes, I'd love to.
Xantor led her into the spaceship, where a plush seat awaited her. As soon as she was settled, the craft lifted off smoothly, the Earth quickly becoming a distant memory. Emily watched in awe as they soared through space, the stars whizzing past them in a blur of light. After a short journey, they arrived at a beautiful planet bathed in golden light. Felinara was even more breathtaking up close. The spaceship landed in a lush meadow filled with vibrant alien flora. Exotic creatures roamed freely, their forms both strange and wondrous. Xantor led Emily through the meadow to a grand city made of shimmering crystal. The inhabitants of Felinara, creatures of all shapes and sizes, greeted them warmly. It was a society unlike any Emily had ever imagined, filled with beauty and harmony. As they walked through the city, Xantor explained how Emily's action had saved not only him, but also his entire people. The device she had helped activate had repaired a critical energy source for Felinara, ensuring the survival of the civilization.
We are forever in your debt, Emily,
Xantor said, his eyes filled with thankfulness. Emily shook her head, overwhelmed by the magnitude of what she had been a part of.
I'm just glad I could help.
Xantor smiled.
There's one more thing I want to show you.
He led her to a grand palace at the center of the city, where a large, ornate portal stood. It was similar to the one she had used on Earth, but grander and more intricate. Xantor explained that this portal could connect Felinara to any place in the universe, allowing for instantaneous travel.
Sadly, we were unable to construct this portal in a way that would allow humans to use it. But I have another gift for you. You can keep the spaceship, and I'll teach you how to fly it,
Xantor said.
You are now an honorary citizen of Felinara.
Emily's eyes widened in amazement.
Does that mean I can visit any time? Yes,
Xantor purred.
And we'll always be here to welcome you.
A few days later, Emily was flying with the spaceship as she had done it all her life. And so, with a heart full of gratitude, Emily returned to her home on Earth. But this time, she knew she was never truly alone. She had a family on Felinara and a dear friend in Xantor. From that day forward, Emily's life was filled with wonder and adventure. She often traveled to Felinara, learning about their culture and sharing her own. And every time she looked up at the night sky, she knew that her cosmic cat was watching over her. And so, Emily's ordinary life became extraordinary. All thanks to a cat from another planet who needed help getting home. The bond they shared transcended the stars, reminding her that friendship knows no bounds, and that even the most ordinary of days can hold the promise of the extraordinary.